Do you foresee like almost like a, I don't know, rejuvenation or radicalization of the Republican Party as a result of this?
I think we're seeing a rejuvenation and an explosion of the Libertarian Party. So this weekend, well, we got RFK Jr.
Yeah.
You've got Vivek's going to be there.
Yeah.
Trump is going to be there.
Yeah.
Ron Paul is going to be there. This is going to be the biggest political, let's call it a bonanza. Because you say political party, people don't get it. But I'm like, this is like, if you work in politics, culture, news, political commentary, pundit, PACs, it's in DC, you're there. Everyone's going to be there except Democrats, right?
Middle MAGA.
Do you foresee like,
I'll even go further than that. I think Democrats are going to be there. You're going to have some Democrats there, not big name ones, but what he's talking about is the Libertarian Party National Convention's coming up this weekend. And breaking news, Tim Pool says that there is a rejuvenation coming, and it's not the Republican Party.
Do you foresee like almost like a, I don't know, rejuvenation or radicalization of the Republican Party as a result of this?
I think we're seeing a rejuvenation and an explosion of the Libertarian Party.
There it is. And, there's a lot of issues with Tim Pool as far as the funny country, some of these weird takes, but don't get it twisted. I have not changed my opinion on how much integrity he has overall and how important he is. He just said there's a rejuvenation and explosion of what? The Libertarian Party. There's no other podcaster at his level that's even talking like that. Much respect to Tim for highlighting it. I think that's an honest take from him. And he must be protected at all costs. Tim's awful, like I said, on a couple topics recently here that's out of character for him. But there's a lot of great people. Donald Trump's awful on the same topic. Laura Loomer's awful on the same topic. Carrie Lake's awful. You can go down the line. Everybody in D.C., Matt Gaetz, MTG, Boebert, name them. Gosar, name all of them. They're all bad. Massey's better than most, but he's still terrible. He's the funny country has a right to exist guy, and he's the best one you can label. But Tim specifically, still great, extremely important, and as I said, must be protected at all cost. But here's the bigger picture of what's happening here. Tim is absolutely right, and they had a further discussion than this, where they were talking about, well, what's going to happen as time goes on? The young people, where are they? Are they going to be more MAGA? Are they going to be somewhere else? And that's a great discussion, and I took it even further. Here's the future of politics. The future of politics. That's the biggest takeaway I would say from this right here is, where's the future of politics going? And I'm going to pull up my next comment from this. The future of American politics will be America First, led by young Nick. That is the future. And then after that, a far second, this will be eventually the second best movement out there, is the Libertarian Party, the Mises Caucus-led Libertarian Party, with who's behind all this, bringing in RFK, Trump and all that, Angela McArdle, and Michael Heiss and them. It will be the Libertarian Party number 2, led by comic Dave Smith. MAGA will be irrelevant long term. Any organization that is Zio, you're done. Long term, and you don't have a movement, you don't have a momentum. You will always try to be the next neocon or the next establishment. I want to repeat this one more time for the people in the back. America First is inevitable. I'm not interested right now in arguing with you if you agree with Nick or not. What I'm telling you is I follow Nick, and it is inevitable. That you're not, what that means is you're not going to stop it. That's how strong the movement is. So if you don't know what's going on, if I say young Nick, you don't know who I'm talking about, I think you might need to start, it's time to start looking into it. You need to start looking into it. Let's look at some of the comments I had on here. Cyrus Aurelius says, wait 10, 20 years when the boomer cons finally unlive off and are replaced by the jaded white America firsters. That's what the core of that, it's probably 90+% young white males. Remember that clip when I was even a little taken back because I didn't know Nick. I was like, wait, it's so soft looking back at it now. Nick was up. I actually played this in an old video. He was up at FPAC 3, And he was like, the strength of this movement are you young white men. That seems tame now. That's why? Because he's moved the Overton window. And I replied to this and I said, Con Inc. will be absorbed. What's Con Inc.? Con Inc. is your Joe Scarboroughs, your Mitchells, your Bill Mitchells, you know the incorporate, even it includes many on the alt space, your Ben Shapiro's and others. They will be absorbed by, well, I said they will be absorbed by MAGA. What I meant by that is they're going to pretend to be MAGA and hide within MAGA. But I think he replied, Cyrus, and has a better take. He said, I don't think so. They've been exposed and they don't have any young ranks. Who are the young neocons out there? There ain't any. So I was like, good point. How many young neocons are out there? None. And they're outnumbered a lot. They're dwarfed by this hidden tsunami that's coming within the America First movement. It is coming strong. You're already seeing the impact when Nick gets on a X space. Everybody's in there. Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, everyone. He's the mover and shaker on that side. There's no Charlie Kirk can't do that. Tim is not a right guy or whatever. He's a classic liberal. Bill Maher type classic liberal, just he actually reads news stories. There's no difference between Tim Pool's beliefs and Bill Maher. The only difference is Bill Maher just he's not informed. Other than that, they would have the same takes, which is, I'm not dissing them, but Tim's not a libertarian. He's not in this side here. But none of them, my point is, none of them can jump in an X space. There's no one other than maybe Trump right now that could jump. Carrie Lake wouldn't be able to do it. That would jump into X space, and you have fresh and fit. You've got Narwhal, you got Elon, you got Jeremy Boring, you got Lauren Chen, Pearl Davis, and Libertarian Dave Smith, and not Dave Smith, but Vivek, and everybody jumps into the space. It doesn't exist that I'm aware of outside of Donald Trump. Maybe Rogan might, but not like Nick, not the same way. So that's kind of the power, and we can get into that more. I had a longer reply on the first one. Let me go ahead and get that for you, and then I'll end with that reply. And I think this is it here, replying to Trump nationalists, who I believe is America First, Nick type of guy. Libertarianism is effing soft, is what he said. We need Christian nationalism, right-wing authoritarianism. This country needs to be set straight, and that comes with authoritarianism. Trump will have no fear of re-election, knows who to trust, experienced. He is the guy. He's a Trump guy. And I agree with the sentiments that he's got there. I'm not obviously a Trump guy as much as he is, but take a look at this. I said validate. On top of that, here's the problem. Because you see, I rock libertarian sweaters and I talk about libertarian a lot, but I'm not a libertarian. I say, I'm like George Santos said, he's Jewish, not Jewish. He's Jew-ish, like. That's literally what he said. And I'm not libertarian, I'm libertarian-ish. And the reason why is because I'm not as well read and they get real geeky with their stuff. And there's a lot when you have that label of I'm a libertarian. I'm not. I mean, I'm a certain percentage of libertarianism. I don't know what it is. It's 50, 51. I don't know what it is. But you might wonder, well, why would I go and support young Nick if I also support liberty? And I've talked about that with Stephen Ignoramus. Jeremy might be wrong. A lot of people, let's be frank, of course, and about this. But let me break it down here. That'll be my takeaway. My biggest takeaway, as happy as I am, and go support the Libertarian Party. Everybody's going to be in D.C. It's going to be the biggest deal this weekend. Shout out to the Mises Caucus and everybody involved for putting that on. What would you guys want? Dr. Michael Rectenwald on the flyer? Come on. That's what libertarians, some libertarians would be like, Trump's not a Trump, RFK, Vivek, but Vivek's almost libertarian, but he's not. These guys aren't libertarian, so we don't want them headlining our convention. Even though, as Tim Pool said, it's the biggest bonanza now, and it's on your home turf. I mean, your convention. You should be celebrating it. But no, it's almost like the backpack rappers from back in the day. They would love the unknown rapper and not give the big headliners props. So if you were playing a small venue or something like that, They wouldn't want 50 Cent to, even though 50 Cent obviously had dope tracks, classic album, they wouldn't want 50 Cent or Jay-Z. And that was me back in the day when I was stupid and young. They wouldn't want them to headline to get people in the, in the arena so you could have your backpack rapper perform in front of them because they're not pure hip hop. That's exactly what the libertarians are. This is literally their take. They would rather have Dr. Michael Rectenwall be the headliner than Donald Trump. That's how stupid they are with marketing, and then also not stupid, but they just want to gatekeep and make it a club and nothing substantial. But here's the real problem with liberty. People don't want it. That's it. I still say it's going to be the second strongest movement, but it's not going to win out. Authoritarianism will always win out. How long was America? America was founded on the principles of liberty from basically James Madison wrote it, highly influenced by John Locke. Pure liberty. I mean, liberty is, wait for it, decentralization, peace, and private property ownership, the possibility of prosperity. That's exactly what they wrote in the Declaration of Independence and the purpose of Madison writing the Bill of Rights, to protect those things: life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. It was Thomas Jefferson, I believe, Declaration of Independence, but James Madison obviously influenced and wrote it in basically that's the Bill of Rights, is to protect those things. That's literally my belief of liberty. So the country started on the concept of liberty. But as time goes on, everything will always go to consolidation towards domination. And that's where we are now, away from liberty, because people don't want liberty. That's why. You wonder why all this madness is going on in our country, authorizing lethal use of force against a former president over a library dispute that they're trying to bubble up to a felony. I mean, it's just unbelievable stuff. Why is our country not recognizable anymore? It's because people don't want liberty. It's almost like the pandemic never happened. I mean, I've talked to people in real life about this, and we were laughing about how stupid the masks were and all that kind of stuff. But why don't we hold these people accountable? We're laughing about it like we can't do anything about it. I don't bring that up because I don't want to get too political, with people I don't know where they're at. But people want to trust those in charge. They want authority. They don't want liberty. Even though there will always be authority figures, they're scared of liberty. Even though I am going to cover this story about there's counties seceding, that they want to secede from Oregon and join Idaho. I would maintain that I prefer liberty, but we have to live in the real world. So I would side with an authoritarian, and I'm talking to this Trump nationalist here, like yourself, and that's why Stephen Ignoramus, Christian authoritarian fascist. Why do I side with him? Because you're going to have to pick your authoritarian. Liberty doesn't have a chance. Not in this atmosphere. But Tim is right. Outside of Christian national fascists, the next biggest movement up and coming is the libertarian movement. Why is Donald Trump speaking there? That's why. But it laps behind the Christian nationalist movement. And I'll use this as the final takeaway, just to give Tim that feedback. As good as this segment was for Tim, where he's standing up and articulating, I mean, no one at his level can articulate where the Libertarian Party is better than him. I forgot who did it on his website. Now it's SCNR. They had the best write-up of the Mises Caucus victory. What a great article that was. I forgot the name of the writer. But great work from Tim Cass' website. But Tim, you've got the libertarian side, but the future is really the America First side. And I know Keith Woods is really Irish, but I believe he's Irish, but he's still in that same lane. Tim, I would recommend that you have conversations off of YouTube if you're not comfortable with the YouTube, especially live, and you don't have a dump button. Have conversations with Keith Woods, Nick, and others in that lane off of YouTube. Otherwise, you are missing the biggest movement in the country right now. If you want to know why Tim's chat has turned on him multiple times, very harsh on a lot of these topics, It's because he does not understand that America First group.
Middle MAGA.